Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Kaspa, aka KAS. So with that being said, let's dive on in. So listen, this has been one of those tokens that have been really kind of kept undercover on this channel and even on socials for a while. But I did recently make a video, I think it was like last month, regarding Kaspa. And since then, yes, KAS has still continued to do some very large moves. Now, this is one of those tokens, and we usually get one of them every bull run. Back in 2021, for an example, we've seen multiple ones, right? There's always going to be a lot of major tokens out there that are similar to Kaspa in terms of the major moves that it does make. Now, it's great to catch them early on, but it's very hard to catch them early on because not a lot of people start talking about them until we start doing, major moves like what we just recently seen in the last year. Now, with Kaspa, I did warn a lot of people initially on during this bull run, going all the way back to January. Actually, I did say, and I included this in my 15 plus 50x to 100x potential altcoins, and Kaspa was one of them. I did even include the entries on the bottom and also even the exits all the way on the bottom as well. Our entries were roughly around half a cent, and our exits were around 22.5 cents to 27.5 cents. Now, do I think that these exits are perfect? Do I think that Kaspa is going to go much higher? Yes, I do, but I still think that this is great, considering the fact that we got in early enough to make sure that we did lock in 50x to 100x gains on Kaspa. And I even did make a video just recently when Kaspa was right around some significant lows, which was right around like roughly 5 cents. And since then, yes, it has done basically a 3x move already, which is pretty significant considering the fact that I made this video just 1 month ago from the time that I did make this tweet, which was right around like the middle of October. So in over 1 month, you basically 3x'd your investment if you did watch that video. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because, listen, we were early on Kaspa, we talked about it, and now we are a little bit later to the party now. Anyone that was jumping into Kaspa currently, you are a little bit late to the party, but does that mean that it is a bad thing? Not exactly, because I still think that Kaspa has a lot left in it, and the reason why is because, listen, there's a lot of these tokens that generate a ton of hype, and they build a strong community in a very short amount of time, and Kaspa has been one of them. And it's not because it's hyped up and there's nothing going on with Kaspa. No, there's actually a lot happening here, and Kaspa has become a dominant force within this community. Now let's talk about it. Let's address a few things. So first off, Kaspa still has a ton of listing opportunity left in it. Currently speaking, the market cap of it is sitting at about roughly $2.8 billion, which to some people that might seem like it's a pretty high market cap. And technically, yes, it is. That means that upside potential is still a little bit less than, if you were investing into a coin that had sub $1 billion in market cap. But it doesn't mean that Kaspa is not going to do any major moves. I still think that, like I said, it has a ton of listing opportunity, and there's a huge following behind it now, and the community has been growing tremendously, and also there has been a lot of movement on socials from the Kaspa team, which is very beneficial. Now let's talk about a few things, and let's talk about the potential movements that Kaspa can actually make. So like I said, currently speaking, we're sitting at about roughly 13 cents. I actually think that we could see a potential move. If we go back to the 1 month span, I still think that we could see a potential move right around roughly 11 cents, maybe even get a tap of resistance at around like almost 9.5 cents. Anything under 10 cents to me personally would be a great area to average into Kaspa. But in the long term, we could very well still see Kaspa reach some significant highs. I'm interrupting this video just to let you guys know that you can get 40% off right now for the next few days. If you go over to DCENTWallet.com, you could save 40% on cold storage devices. We're talking about the single pack. We're talking about the double pack. You could save upwards of $128 right now. So what are you waiting for? Go get your cold storage device and make sure that you are safe this next bull run. Remember, protect yourself, protect your wealth. Now let's get back to the video. if Kaspa had the if Kaspa had the market cap of 88 right now, you're talking about roughly a 61 and almost a half cents for Kaspa, which is an upside of almost 5x. Now, what if we did reach the all-time high of 88, which is sitting at about roughly $95 billion? Well, now you're talking about roughly a 34x for Kaspa. Now, do I think that Kaspa could reach this market cap? It's possible, but do I think that it is going to? Again, it's questionable. We don't know. It could happen, but again, we have to be patient. We have to wait and see. In my opinion, I do think that we could very well see $1 plus for Kaspa, and even then we could still see some of these higher price targets. I'm being very conservative, and it's not because I'm bearish on Kaspa, it's just simply because I am being conservative. But we have started to see a lot of great movement on Kaspa. We are already up nearly 28x on this investment if we go off of the all-time high right now. But I do still think that Kaspa is going to continue to make tremendous moves within this market simply because of what is actually happening behind Kaspa. And also, if we're talking about the altcoin market, it really hasn't started to see tremendous gains just yet. El Crypto Prof over on X posted this chart, which is altcoins are facing a month-long uptrend in my opinion, and 2021 will look like nothing if this chart continues to replicate 2016 to 2017. The plan from here on is simple. Dips are for buying, and I do think that dips are for averaging in, especially currently speaking. There has been a lot of great movements within the altcoin market, and if we are going to really kind of see the 2017-2018 move that altcoins did have, well, guess what? Things could get very, very interesting very fast. I think that this next bull run, we could see anywhere between $5 to $7 trillion for the global crypto market cap. And if that's the case, then a lot of these altcoins that are going to be reaching into the top 25, maybe even the top 10, they're going to see tremendous market caps and valuations behind them. And it's simply because of how much money is going to pour into this space, especially if we are talking about ETFs and things like that. And mainstream media will obviously be force feeding all of that bullish news to the retail sector, which will ultimately FOMO in and buy up a lot of these bags. Now, during that time, obviously, yes, we will be taking profits. Like I said, if we're talking about Kaspa, off of our entries, we're talking about roughly a 50 to 100x opportunity run on Kaspa. So to me, I'm obviously taking profits off of Kaspa and putting it into other coins. But outside of all of this, right, the Kaspa team has been going 24/7 constantly over on X. For an example, here you guys have another listing on Caleb and Brown, which is a great OTC broker service. Great platform, by the way. But beyond this, there's been a lot of other major listings, and it all happened this month alone. Like, they have been absolutely killing it. The Kaspa team has been going 24/7 on socials, and you could see the engagement on these posts on how large the actual community is. They've already garnished over 150,000 followers on X as well. Like I said, this has been a project that has been nonstop growing since its launch. And even the price, right? We're talking about basically up only since going all the way back to its launch. And even then, we were talking about this in the Discord back in November. Since November, it's been up only. And also even off of our entries, which again happened right after I talked about it in the Patreon, it's up 28x, which is crazy to think about, but that's exactly how some of these coins can move, especially when the community behind it is very strong and the fundamentals are there as well, and the utility is there. And even on Uphold, right, with a lot of these major listings that are happening, even on Uphold, Kaspa actually has been the top traded asset on Uphold, Ascent, and the Uphold wallet for the past 3 weeks. If you are looking for a trusted venue to trade KAS, go to uphold.com/institutional for more information. But again, this shows you just how much hype and demand there is for Kaspa. And if it's this strong now, imagine what's going to happen in the next bull run. Because again, this is not going to just disappear. We're still going to see a lot of movement for Kaspa. Now, again, like I said, with ADA, ADA was a little bit of a different movement, right? Because there was a lot of hype behind ADA. There was a lot of people talking about it on, of course, socials. Right now, I mean, like as we look at Kaspa, it is sitting at about roughly a $3 billion market cap. But we could still see it do a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x from here. It's still a possibility. But again, it does get harder to move a coin once it starts hitting those higher valuations. But I still think that Kaspa does do a great move in this next bull run, especially if we are going to still see the team continuing to build, continuing to expand as well. Like for an example, here you have them again introducing and integrating more interoperability opportunities for Kaspa, building with wrapped Kaspa on Polygon and even BNB, enhancing the overall ecosystem. And again, this is what you want to see. They have been very vocal. They have been, creating a ton of noise on socials, which is very exciting. But also, if you guys did want to look into a few things, like for example, the hash rate chart, I mean, this thing has also been up only since going all the way back to even the starting point of this year, which was back in April. That's when this chart really kind of started to go fully live. And this thing has been going absolutely crazy. And again, this just shows you how much adoption of the network there actually is. Again, we are only going to continue to see things moving going forward, and there's still a lot to actually look forward to. For example, they are going to implement a few things within Rust, which is happening right now, and also even the Dagnite, which is a new consensus protocol that achieves responsiveness. This is also going to be launching as well. These are the upcoming launches, but there's a lot to really kind of read here. If you guys do want to pause the video, guys are more than welcome to read it. But ultimately speaking, this has been one of the largest movers so far this bull run. And again, the Patreon group has been absolutely killing it. This has been one of the biggest winners so far, which is only going to be, like, this is going to be one of many. I do plan on doing like 24/7 updates as we do really kind of get into the depths of this next bull run. But for the most part, Kaspa has become a dominant force within the space in such a short amount of time. And I don't think that that's going to go away anytime soon. I also think that as we are talking about how much money is going to flow into the space, currently speaking, I think that Kaspa is in the top 25, or I might be wrong. So it's top 30. So it's in the top 30 already. And I've talked about how much money the top 25 will basically need in the next bull run if we do hit $5 to $7 trillion in global market cap. The top 25 could very well see, anywhere between, 10 to $25 billion in market cap, which from here, that's a pretty significant height for Kaspa to reach, and the price and the value of Kaspa is also going to be pretty significant at those market caps. But is Kaspa only going to stop at the top 25? I probably can see Kaspa in the top 15 at least. And even then, depending on how much hype and how much substance there is, it could possibly see the top 10 and even further. We have seen things move into the top 10 pretty quickly, especially during a bull run when there is a lot of hype, when there is a lot of substance there. For example, we've talked about it with meme season, right? Dogecoin and Shiba Inu absolutely killing it, hitting the top 10. And this has been the same for a lot of coins as well. So as we do look at Kaspa, do I think that it is going to, become a massive winner in this next bull run? I still think that's going to continue to do some pretty large moves, especially if the team continues to be as vocal and to be as active as they have been so far. And like I said, depending on how big this next bull run is, we could see Kaspa, hit some of these higher market cap valuations, like for example, 88 at its all-time high. But again, please understand the risk associated with holding an asset all the way to heights of $95 billion in market cap. Always make sure that de-risk as fast as you possibly can. Make sure that you get your initial investment out. That way you're not bag holding what you put in. And again, make sure to understand the risk of investing money into crypto that is extremely speculative and also extremely volatile. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.